Today is World Mental Health Day, a day dedicated to raising awareness and advocating for mental health support worldwide. This year, the global theme is access to service mental health in catastrophes and emergencies.
So we're excited to delve into this critical topic and explore how we can all contribute to community, supporting mental well-being together. And of course, joining us to discuss this and shed light on the topic is senior clinical psychologist Georgia Rose. Georgia, welcome to the show. It's great to see you always.
Good morning. Georgia. Thank you so much for having me.
Georgia, let me ask first off, the theme is an interesting theme, considering that it is speaking about the seeking out of help. Where are we as it relates to identifying this issue as something that I have an issue and I can seek help? Where are we in that broad space? Yeah.
I think we're doing a lot better. I was listening to you guys both backstage. You did an amazing job. I was like, I don't even know if I have to come on anymore, right? I love it. And what that speaks to is I think we are a lot more aware of mental health as an important aspect of our total well-being. So maybe 2 decades ago, this would not be a conversation that we would be having. We're seeing more and more individuals accessing the services. People are actively coming out and saying, I would like to be helped. So, you know, today is an opportunity to spread that awareness a little bit more to the general public.
You know, a lot is happening right now. Too much to mention. You know? But I want to find out, and I know persons who are watching want to find out, I mean, where do I start if I observe something? How can a community safeguard each other's mental health?
So I love that question, because sometimes people think if I'm not doing really great, the first thing is that I need to go to a specialist like a psychologist or a psychiatrist. That's actually not true, because there's so many different things that can be taking place that contribute to how you're feeling or how you're managing or how you're coping. So the first thing you want to do is talk about it with somebody that you trust and love, somebody that really knows you, that's able to help you put things into perspective. Sometimes you might need to go and speak to your doctor, because ever so often our bodies are constantly going on the change. There are lots of biological processes that are taking place when children hit puberty, when women get into, you know, perimenopause, men also. And these biological changes can affect your mental status. So there are very many other avenues before you get to us. But if you're ever concerned, never fail to mention this to your primary care providers, your nurses at your health centers and your clinics, your pastors. You know, reach out, and there's so many services available on the island that are free of cost.
You mentioned, obviously, first steps. We're seeing on screen as well issues that one would experience as it relates to mental health, you know, whether it be mood disorder, anxiety disorder, personality disorder. What do we do when we have spoken to our closest, our nearest and dearest? We've sought perspective. The weight, we just can't shake the weight. The sense of overwhelm is actually too much. You feel like you're now drowning. What does one do?
Seek the professional help at this time. And how do you get that help? As I said before, you can visit any of your health centers. We have psychiatrists and psychologists in all our parishes. We have dedicated mental health teams that are made up of our psychiatrists or psychologists or mental health nurse practitioners or psychiatric nursing aides or clinical social workers. They're very effective and they're well trained. And as I said, it is free of cost. So cost should never be a deterrent. Let us say that you don't want to come into our public services, right? There is a strong cadre of private psychologists, therapists, and counselors across the island. And there are also opportunities for people to be seen or engaged on the virtual space, because we find sometimes that role of stigma is a real barrier to accessing help. So you might not want to walk into a clinic or walk into an office, but you can sit in the comfort of your home, your car, your desk, your bathroom, anywhere, and speak to someone. Because the reality is that helping yourself is a first step. Being willing to come and say, I'm not doing so well. And you'd be amazed that, you know, just talking to someone lightens the burden and the load. We know individuals used to have a perception that if you take medication for mental health, it is going to be addictive, it's going to be habit forming, and it's going to change you. I want to debunk that. That does not happen. You base that statement off the fact that many times when you become aware of someone's mental health status is when it's gone very, very, very far along, when they're in an extreme place and the brain is extremely sick, and therefore the individual is not at their best. And if you think about someone who has an illness like diabetes and who manages it very well, you'll never know. Right. So I just want to share that there are many individuals in our society who live with a mental illness, who live with depression, schizophrenia, and anxiety, and they're very functional. They are working in very credible spaces, doing amazing jobs, and you would never know. But if you wait until it gets to a place where you're no longer able to conceal it, then you're only going to be seeing the detrimental experiences of living with a mental illness.
I wanted to just piggyback on the back of what you said there just now, because you said it and I actually felt my spine kind of stiffen. You walk into your GP's office and you don't feel no way when you walk out, you know, because you could be there for anything.
Exactly.
But when you walk out of a psychiatrist or a psychologist's office and someone sees you in the parking lot and then there's a whisper and there's a, what do we do as a community to respect and support and understand the type of energy that we need to possess if we are sharing a space like that? To how do we honor the person who is seeking help in the same way they're in that parking lot for a reason too? So how do we honor that and not turn that into gossip and you know, whispers?
We start with conversations like that. All of us hold very privileged and powerful positions where we get to have conversations like this and talk about it so that it becomes a normalcy. So we remove the shame and, you know, we stand in our truth and share our lived experiences and allow people to understand that it is an illness like all other illness. You know, the brain is the master organ of the body. In the same way that your liver, your kidney, your lungs, your pancreas can get on well, your brain can also get on well. And getting that support in a timely manner is so valuable. So we as a community have to extend grace to others and to remind ourselves that there is no shoe that another person walks in that won't fit your feet. So don't think that this can never happen to me, because it can. Mental illness is not a weakness. It is not judgment and persecution falling down on individuals. You can develop a mental illness because your thyroid function is out of sync. You can develop a mental illness after having major surgery. You can develop a mental illness after delivery of a child. You can develop a mental illness because there are hormonal fluctuations that are taking place inside of your body. It can be the side effect of another regular medication. It can come from lack of sleep. It can come from too much work. It can come from just too much pressures and stress and not enough support. So it can come from a multiplicity of factors. So there's no way that any of us in confidence can state that that will never happen to me. It is no discreditor of age, race, sex, gender, religious affiliation, financial status or power. It doesn't care. It happens to all of us. And if we're pretty honest, most of us would know someone who has a mental health need. And some of us might have mental health challenges that we're living with. In fact, I dare say all of us have mental health challenges that we're living with.
Some degree.
Some of us have more resources to manage it. Some of us are better equipped to cope with it. But all of us have it, you know. You get up every day and you go out into this place of life. You don't know what to expect. Some of us have children, we have partners, we have aging parents, we have demands, we have bills, we have expectations, and things don't always go the way that we want them to go. So we want to hold grace. We want to be our brother's keeper. And that's really what it means about community. You know, coming around, being there for each other, looking out for each other, standing in the gap for each other, you know, so
This is well articulated. I must say, Mental Health Week. What are some, quickly tell us some of the key activities that...
So today is World Mental Health Day, and it's also World Homelessness Day. So in keeping with the theme, access to services, mental health and catastrophes and disasters, homelessness is a catastrophe, right? So the Ministry of Health and Wellness has partnered with our local parish councils, Ministry of Social Services and Labour, and we're highlighting the need to be our brother's keeper. So we're having a mental health and wellness fair today in Sir Grant William Park, and it's free of of cost. We invite anyone who's interested, who's in the area, to come on by. We're going to have over 100 children passing through the space. We're going to be having a wellness bench. We're going to be having
Nice.
art therapy. We're going to be doing, motivational talks. We're going to be doing blood pressure checks, everything you can think about, and space there primarily for those of our brothers and sisters who are faced with homelessness. On Sunday, we're going to be having our National Mental Health Conference. This will be held at Medallion Hall. If you're interested, you can go at mentalhealthconferencesja@gmail.com, and you can register to participate. And there will be a host of very esteemed presenters speaking on topics related to mental health and wellness, to raise advocacy, to bring awareness, and to suggest practical strategies and things that you can do to support others living with mental health.
Can I tell you have a calm and soothing voice? I'm coming to see you.
She's
coming all the way to Montego Bay.
Let me just say.
Yes.
No, girl, you mentioned virtual before.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Very, very quick question, sorry. Sunday is open to the public as well?
It is open to the public. Medical professionals, nurses, there are continuing medical education credits. This is something that healthcare practitioners need to keep themselves up to date with current trends and practices to provide the best services to the general population. So anyone can come and register.
Great stuff.
Awesome. Huge thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
Georgia Rose, for sharing such valuable insights on World Mental Health Day today and the resources available in your community. Remember, mental health is just as important as physical health, and seeking help is a sign of strength. So let's continue to support each other and prioritize mental well-being, especially during times of crisis. Sunrise continues after this break. Stick and stay.
Georgia, you were born to do nothing else.